Hi, everybody. Welcome to this podcast of Presentation Hell, broadcasting from Embark Studios in Tampa, Florida. Today, I'm here with Andrew Collier of Kitchenery. Hi, Andrew. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
All right. So, Kitchenery is kind of a unique product. It lives in your kitchen. If done well, it'll surround your life and be a very big part of it. But this is a startup, something you're gaining traction. Tell the audience, give them a little idea. What is Kitchenery and why is it relevant?
Absolutely. So at its core, Kitchenery is a wireless power transfer technology company. So think about it as cutting cords for everything. Right now, we're focused on our consumer brand, Kitchenery, in the RV space and the yacht space, specifically because we're not solving the cord problem, we're solving the counter space problem. So think about it as fitting a full-size kitchen on the back of your car.
Okay, but what is the real problem? Like, what's the problem that you're actually fixing? I getting the whole kitchen in there, but are you removing wires?
Yeah.
Are you, like, what are you really doing in this? Why are you making it easier?
So in the RV and yacht space currently, they have induction cooktops, but they don't have the hybrid functionality to be able to charge your smartphone, power any appliance, and cook all on the same surface.
So you're turning a stove into a multi-purpose electrical outlet.
Yes, but the technology at its core is applicable to any device. So a laptop, for example, an EV. Currently, our system is tested up to 1,200 watts, but you could scale it up and down any way you want.
All right. How like, give me a nuts and bolts how it works. Tell me, like, as a layman, I don't fully understand it. I get there's a lot of stuff. There's tight quarters and yachts and boats, and you want everything, and you want to be able to cook. You want to be able to cool stuff. You want your phone to charge. You want to be able to talk to your girlfriend in the other room. What are we really doing here? How could I buy this product? What makes money with it?
So let's answer that question in two parts. So how it works: magnetic induction. So the principles of electromagnetics are pretty simple. You're familiar with smartphone charging. Everybody
Yes.
is today.
Okay, stop for a second.
Okay.
So we're talking about the magnet you put on the back of your smartphone that allows it to charge without a cable.
Correct. Except for this is active power transfer. So you could
AC instead of DC type of thing, or what? No,
that's more current.
Okay.
When you have an AC current run through a copper coil, it induces a magnetic field, electric current, which allows power to go through the air.
Okay. So you're eliminating cables through magnets.
In short form, sure.
Okay. All right. So this technology would then be used to power all your household appliances.
Absolutely.
So you are eliminating wires and plugs.
Yeah, absolutely. So the core power pad, if you will, that's not what we name it. That name is not public quite yet, but
It is now.
It is now. Is still plugged in, but you won't see any of the cords because it's underneath the surface. It is integrated seamlessly on the countertop.
So if I had one right here, I could have my toaster next to it and it would toast. I could drop my phone on it. It would work. I could have my burner and cook eggs next to it and have a radio over here and play the radio. And therefore, there's no wires. There's no process. It's just a pad nearby.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do I have to touch the pad? Does the item have to touch the pad, or can it be 3 feet away from the pad?
No, so it's near field communication. That's typically about 3 to 4 inches. On our current model, it's about 20 degrees of freedom. So you can move it. If this whole thing was the pad, you can move it here or here.
3 inches away from the pad.
Yeah, off the top of the surface.
So really, you can just put whatever, like for right now, whatever item you're using, you can just kind of drop on it and it would work and bring it off.
Yeah, it'd actually be mag locked onto it. So similar to how the MagSafe charger works on your phone, it would stick there so that it wouldn't move around and slide while you're using it.
Which is convenient in a yacht.
Yeah, exactly.
And an RV.
Yeah. Rough and tumble type.
So is there retail pricing on this? Like, can I go into Best Buy and spend $500 and get one of these pads and start doing it with my phone and other items?
Not quite yet. We are offering it to RV and yacht OEMs first to target
rich people.
To the premium segment because they push new product development, right? Think about Tesla. They invented the Roadster.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I agree with you. People who pay for things, that's who you have to get to buy them, because if people can't buy them, you can't make it. I get it totally. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just pointing out reality.
So if you think about like the Tesla model, right? They came out with the Roadster first, then they used that money to make the
if you can't sell anything, we're going to get to the business model in a minute.
Oh, okay.
If you can't sell anything and bring your runway to the point where you're surviving, paying bills, and people are eating off your trough,
exactly,
you're not in business. You're doing a hobby. This is not lots of fun, and someone else is going into business with it.
Correct.
So we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
So it's only packaged through boats and RVs. So it's like, are you selling through the retailers like RV World? Are you selling through the makers of the RVs? Are you selling through the makers of the boats? Are you like...
So we're targeting the OEMs first to offer it as an add-on package to the luxury segment. So think about you spending $500,000 on a boat or an RV, you can get this new cool cordless appliance.
Well, it shouldn't be a choice. It should be built in. So here's a question for you. And I'm going to take this over to business, and we're going to talk about this in just a minute after here. If you're selling to this market, why don't you have one Bezos who's building a 500,000-foot boat, integrating it into it and being your angel? Presentation Hell has been brought to you by Shuffler. Shuffler is presentation management. Now we're going to get into the business of Kitchenery. So what is the business model?
So I would say it's a multi-faceted business model. So the first is selling our appliances. The second is selling the pad, and then third is data monetization through IoT services.
So you're selling the product, the features, and then the data at the end. So you're collecting the data also that's going on there. That's really what you think is the goal of this whole thing.
Absolutely.
All right. So how do you get out the door with it? How do you get that first client? How do you get it in the space? Who do you hook up with that makes this relevant?
So currently we're seeking an advanced development contract with two of the largest RV OEMs in the world, which is Thor Industries and Rev Group, to have them standardize it in their Class A RVs. To give you some rough numbers, there's about 75,000 of them sold each year in the U.S.
Okay, so 75,000 RVs are sold.
Class A.
Class A. What's a Class A RV?
Luxury, premium.
Something like a big band would drive up to a concert hall in.
Absolutely.
That type
Absolutely.
of thing.
Yeah.
You know? Okay. And what you're looking for is to have them integrated as this advanced electrified future done through these devices.
Precisely.
And do you have people lined up? Do you have money? Tell me about the business. Where are you located, first off?
So we're at the University of Tampa Loth Entrepreneurship Center on the 8th floor. Do we have people lined up? I would say so. We have a lot of really strong market traction. We've been at the RV Super Show here in Tampa a month ago, and then we were at the International Boat Show in Miami last week.
Nice. You getting some traction? Does it feel right? I know these things, you don't get anything till you get everything.
Yeah.
But does it feel right? Are you going in the right direction?
Yeah, I would say the most common thing I hear is, wow, that's a game changer. And so when you hear people, everyday people that have never used the product before, don't know anything about it, keep saying that to you, it gives you purpose, it gives you momentum, it gives you strive, it makes you keep waking up early and staying late every day.
So what's the costing of this product? Are you there yet with it or no?
Yeah, we are. We're looking to sell the suite of appliances, so it's 5 appliances plus the power pad for about $3,500.
All right, now we're getting to nuts and bolts. So if that's the case, it doesn't have to be in a boat. It doesn't have to be anywhere.
Correct. We've validated in the consumer segment that is the primary driver is, again, the counter space. But once we get to economies of scale, we'll be able to bring that cost down to the everyday consumer.
Are you really making the actual devices yourself? You're going to make the freaking toasters?
No, we have overseas manufacturing partners that we were introduced to by Stanley Black & Decker. Last year, we won the Techstars competition that was hosted by them, and then they invested in us and then introduced us to all their overseas
So
manufacturers.
you should have started with that. Jesus Christ, why are we sitting here explaining stuff? So Stanley has invested in you to help electrify their devices and IoT stuff.
Yes, sir.
And this is the tools that, see what happens in these podcasts? It takes a long time. You should be starting with that everyone would have been sold emotionally to begin with.
Oh.
All the other stuff they wouldn't have been sitting here going, God, I'm trying to figure this out. What the hell's going on?
Well, I hope you are now.
All right, so let's go back. So Stanley invested in you.
Correct.
This is a way of charging Internet of Things devices, toasters. How about electric drills, things like that? Anything? Am I wrong with that?
No, that's correct. Right
Stove
now,
heaters.
So right now we're focused on the 3 most common appliances that people own.
What's Stanley focused on for you? What do they want in their stores? They're the ones with distribution through all of the world and stuff like that. They're the ones who can put the power pack in there instead of the slide-in device.
Right. So Stanley isn't just a tool company. That is what
I know. That's what I'm getting at.
Oh, okay.
There's electricity we're talking about.
So we presented this business model to them, and they validated it. They think that it's really the second second tier transformation. Right. We're solving the kitchen counter space problem, not the cord problem.
Well, it's in a way cords are tethered to a certain thing that is at one spot in the kitchen,
right.
which is a counter space problem because
right.
it limits the ability to put all the devices that you want to do there.
Correct.
You actually allow all devices to disappear and you just kind of place it there when it's ready.
Right.
So you have to be using established devices that people already accept and use to get through there, hence Stanley.
Right.
So why are you making these devices and not just making this tool to work with established Stanley device tools and gizmos that are already established?
I would say the answer to that is 2 reasons. The first reason is that I don't think power tools, they're already cordless.
You just told me Stanley isn't a power tool company. It's much bigger than that.
Right, but they're not a major player in the appliance manufacturing business. Like they're not a Miele or a Bosch or a KitchenAid.
Or a Black & Decker.
Well, Black & Decker, I would say, is still more tool focused than it is appliance focused. And again, in the appliance segment, there are different players for different things. So like Samsung and LG are big in washers and dryers, but they're not necessarily big in blenders and coffee makers.
Understood.
And so again, back to the 3 appliances that we think or we know everybody owns, the 2 most in demand. So the 3 is the blender, the toaster, and the kettle, coffee maker. And then the 2 most in demand are the air fryer and the electric pressure cooker, which is Instapot. And actually, the former CEO of Instapot is on our board. So that's very helpful.
See, again, we're at the end of the damn thing, and we're starting at the beginning. Keep going.
One of our other independent directors on our board is on the board of MarineMax, which is the Amazon of boats.
Yeah, so they took Boaters World and a variety of other things through the years.
Exactly.
So let's get back. So the people in this company, the connections make the product distribution proper, make it allowed. What you just told me brings the reason for doing it much more alive, more than Tesla in my garage creating something that just works better.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between that. How did that come about? Who strung that together? Why? Let's go to the founding of this startup.
Absolutely.
And why it became relevant more so than, wow, I was on Techstars and Stanley noticed us.
Yeah.
This is not the story I just heard now that we're in. So let's get to that.
So our CEO and founder, his name's Akshay Buva. He's a mechanical engineer by trade. And during the pandemic, actually a little bit pre-pandemic, he was working from home in a small apartment, and he was trying to use multiple appliances on his countertop, and he was getting frustrated because he didn't have enough counter space. And he was like, I can't plug in everything.
Hence the wire thing. When someone gives you the answer, to accept it, take it.
Exactly. So he said, everything else is going wireless, but the kitchen space is overlooked.
Okay, so he's in his garage and he's figuring this out. What's his background prior to attacking this problem?
So at the time, he was working at Case New Holland. He was a mechanical parts engineer. Our CTO worked 10 years in the aerospace industry. I come from an IoT software background. So together, we sort of put it all together.
Who is the key string that knit these pearls together, that strung them along to make a beautiful work of art that's actually all entrepreneurship is art, by the way, and makes the work of art actually work because all the players have to be in it? Who is the person who strung those valuable pearls?
Well, me, obviously. But no, I mean, there's the old saying that nothing gets built until it gets sold. So, and I head up a sales team. But I have to give the credit to Akshay because he's really been ideating this since 2012. So it's been in the works for over a decade.
So this is a long time coming, and we can see the basic product in your Apple Watch or your Apple phone when the magnet starts and you get generation. This is taking that basic process and putting it on your kitchen counter.
Yep.
You're choosing the large yacht and RV sector as the place to penetrate the market, to gain validity, to test it, because you think there's a financial viability of getting it through that way that allows you to live to get to the much bigger market, which is the kitchen counter.
Absolutely.
And Stanley's behind it.
Yep, Stanley's behind it. We are currently in our community fundraise round, partnered with WeFunder. And the reason we went that way, in venture cap, there's a lot of...
Hold it. You're looking for money is what you're saying right now. So you're taking investment at this point.
Correct.
Okay. So this is the avenue that you're using. You're using something called WeFunder?
Correct.
Okay. Tell us more about it.
So we believe that community is at the heart of this, not only because it's going to be in dorm rooms, apartments, senior living facilities, high-end hotel chains, but they're going to be our first customers in a lot of ways. They're people that come see us. They're people that know us. They're people that show up to the events. They're people we podcast with. And so we thought before we take on any VC money, we should go this route first.
Could you put one of these things on this table if we
100%.
wanted you to?
100%. The only material you can't have on a table is metal, but any other material is fine.
Okay. Could you bring one of these? We could, like, at another time, would you be able to, like, take this, put it right? Do you have to plug it in?
So this model, yes, you have to plug it in.
So basically it sits under the counter. It's built into it. It's like a front. It's plugged in underneath. No one sees the wires. It's built into the electricity of the property or whatever you're doing. Whatever item you use, you bring it near it. It can charge for a while. When it's full, you can take it away like your phone. It's like your charging station. But any device anywhere that uses electricity could use it if it's properly battery packed.
Receiver transmitter is the correct term, but
receiver transmitter. Which one's the receiver and which one's the transmitter?
Receiver module.
All right, I'm trying to get it right. I'm trying to get it right.
Transmitter module is the pad, and the receiver module will be installed in the devices. And another point I'd like to hit on, I forgot earlier, is these are about 40% more efficient than traditional appliances because when you have a natural gas or electric heat, or electric stove, a lot of the heat gets dissipated in the atmosphere.
Will they notice the money saving on their monthly bill or no?
I think they'll notice that they can do more on their yacht or RV. That's really the big driver.
Okay.
Because they have to shut down stuff.
Because someone's got a 100-foot boat doesn't care about 8 cents of electricity.
But they do care about being able to operate their fridge and their freezer and their toaster and their blender all at the same time.
And they care about their friends going, God, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's what they care about. That's the $100 million question.
One of the best quotes I heard from the RV show was, these things sell with bells and whistles, and you've got a bell and a whistle here 2 in 1.
Well, I'd love you to come back and show it. So let's just take a minute. Andrew Collier from Kitchenery, 90 seconds again. Tell the audience exactly what this product is and why it's going to change their life. And it's from Tampa, Florida, the University of Tampa, by the way.
Kitchenery is going to fundamentally change how you interact with every single consumer device out there. We're starting in the kitchen space, but I believe that we're going to go to every single device that exists. No more cords. Cords are a thing of the past.
So we're cutting the cord, and this isn't the cable industry. So, Andrew, thank you for coming on.
Absolutely.
To
It was a pleasure.
Presentation Hell. I hope the information got out. It was good for you. It was good for me. I
was,
learned a lot.
It was fantastic. I think this is the premier podcast in Tampa, and I think a lot of people feel the same way.
Well, great. Take care. Thank you all for listening today.